All right. If I could get a motion that we only discuss those items, or that we only discuss those items that we went into closed session for. One item under Virginia Code 2.2-3711A1, appointments to the town manager.
So moved.
Second.
And may I have a roll call for that, please, ma'am?
Mr. Penn?
Yes.
Mr. Dawson?
Aye.
Mr. East?
Aye.
Mr. Ratliff?
Aye.
Mr. Klontz?
Aye.
Mr.
Great. Now, if you would stand, we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance led by Councilman Penn and the invocation led by Councilman East.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you'd like to join us in prayer, please bow your head at this time. Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us together this evening to conduct the business of our town. We thank you for your guidance, your wisdom. We ask that you would continue to show us your path and let us always recognize that through you all things are possible. In your name we pray. Amen.
Right. First, I'd like to welcome the guests that are here in person and online. Thank you for coming out and supporting your town. Is there any modifications to public session? I don't think there is.
Don't we have to have one modification? I'm not sure where it should be. Spencer, you have any suggestions where I should modify it? Maybe, could it be under the consent agenda?
Just put it right before it, I think, just between 13 and 14.
Okay. So that would be a move to modify the agenda to add in approval of the town manager's contract.
May I have a roll call for that, please?
Mr. Penn?
Yes.
Mr. Dawson?
Aye.
Mr. East?
Aye.
Mr. Ratliff?
Aye.
Mr. Klontz?
Aye.
Mr.
Aye.
All right. We'll move on to the presentations. The first presentation tonight is New River Criminal Justice Academy graduate, Danielle Stevens.
Good evening, everybody. Want to introduce you to Officer Stevens. She's from Giles County. She was formerly a correctional officer with New River Valley Regional Jail. She just graduated New River Criminal Justice Academy. It's our first graduate from there, if I'm not mistaken, since we switched. While she was there, she was awarded, that you're going to help me with this, the Master Wheelmaster Top Driver Award. So there was a lot of candidates, and she was close to maybe the Top Gun Award for her shooting. So been an impressive display there in the academy. So we look forward to lots of good work from her here. And this is her second or third day in FTO. So brand new to us, so stop by and see her and go easy on her if you see her on the street.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
And, you know, she has to know how to shoot good. I'm from Giles County, too, so. You know, you just never know. But thank you for being on board. Our next one is Pulaski Police Department Accreditation Award from the VLEPSC Commissioner, Chief Joel Hash.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. I'm Joel Hash, Chief of Police of the Whitfield Police Department and a Commissioner on the Virginia Law Enforcement Professional Standards Commission. I bring you greetings and congratulations from the Executive Board of the Virginia Law Enforcement Professional Standards Commission and the Department of Criminal Justice Services. We are here to recognize Chief Jill Neese and the members of the Pulaski Police Department for their commitment to law enforcement excellence, as evidenced by their successful completion of their 5th reaccreditation process of the Virginia Law Enforcement Accreditation Program. I am honored and privileged to be able to make this presentation this evening. All accreditation programs are designed to evaluate and confirm the compliance of an organization with the recognized standards in the profession in which they belong. In the case of a law enforcement agency, it is one openly transparent means by which citizens and government leaders can be assured that their police department is maintaining ethical standards and benchmarks of their performance, which the community has a right to expect. Your community's law enforcement agency had previously made the commitment to pursue the goal of attaining state accreditation. This process involves bringing the administrative, operational, training, and personnel policies and practice of the department into compliance with the 190 professional standards of the commission each year for a total of 4 years. The awarding of accreditation to a law enforcement agency is indefinitely more than a paper exercise. An agency must first develop the policies and procedures that comply with the commission standards. But what is more important, it must put those policy statements into practice and prove over a period of years that the agency follows those standards. It is not just saying that you would meet the standards, but actually doing what you have said that you would do. That is the commitment of this process and the essence of professionally accredited agency. The Pulaski Police Department has met that commitment, and we are here to officially recognize them for successfully completing the re-accreditation process. The attainment of accreditation by a law enforcement agency has many advantages. Among these, it instills confidence in the public that the law enforcement agency it serves complies with the established professional benchmarks. Secondly, the process assures public officials that the law enforcement agency they oversee is in compliance with established state-of-the-art policies, procedures, and practices. The established protocols of an accredited agency reduces potential for liability exposures resulting from the daily services it provides to its citizens. The existence of an accredited department in the community is a positive factor when a municipality markets itself for economic development. Finally, the accreditation agency is not only doing the right things within the community it serves, but it's also doing those things right. Chief Jill Neese and the members of the Pulaski Police Department have again successfully met those standards. We congratulate them on this significant accomplishment and are proud to present them with a certificate of accreditation from the Virginia Law Enforcement Professional Standards Commission. Thank you, Chief Jill.
Thank you.
And Pulaski Police Department.
Thank you. I'd actually like to let Lieutenant Parmalee hold this. Really, it should be presented to him, everybody else in the agency, because they're the ones who do the work all 4 years. We just support them just like you guys do. Thank you so much for supporting the accreditation program, and thank you, Chief, for coming
Thank you.
and presenting it to us. Can you all right if I get a few of my
Yeah.
Anybody in uniform can join me at any time.
It sounds like that's an order. I know. They act like it anyway, right?
Get us in here. I can stand. There we go.
He's done. He's done.
Yeah, stay where you are.
I think Elaine's trying to hide. I just saw her hiding. Of course, we're gonna get one with you, Elaine. You can't run. I'm sorry.
Get up, Elaine.
Come on, Elaine.
Took us 4 years.
I know. Give me.
I'll get right.
Now we gotta do it all again.
I'm sorry, she was hiding.
Thank you, Chief.
All right, moving on to public hearing. This is case 2022-11ZA. It's a zoning amendment to section 4.4.2-2F, daycare center definition, ordinance 2022-20. Can I get the staff report first, please?
Good evening, everyone. The town staff has initiated a zoning amendment at the request of a citizen as well as the planning commission to add daycare center by special exception to the R3 district Currently, the proposed district only allows schools, colleges, universities, and preschools. And with preschools, it does limit the age to only 3 years and older. And within our zoning ordinance, daycare centers are currently permitted by special exception in the RO, B1, and I1 districts. And the planning commission voted unanimously to recommend approval to town council with the inclusion of the general standards, which should be on the page following the staff report.
Does council have any questions for the staff?
Were there any particular properties that this drew into question that we realized that we had an issue?
Yes, and they're here as well. I believe they might want to speak to it.
Oh, my only other question is, I understand RO and B1, I1, I guess, but why not B2?
I don't know. That's just how the zoning ordinance is now. So we're
Okay.
kind of catching little things as we're sifting through.
Okay. So would this also apply to B2, or do you just not know offhand?
It does not.
Okay.
This would, if
This
it's,
only changes R3?
yes.
Okay.
And the ones listed are the ones where it's permitted by special exception now.
Okay.
But you could add it later.
You
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, maybe my request is maybe if the staff could just review and just see if there's, some of those other districts that could be, might make sense to add some of those kinds of special exceptions to, would be great.
Okay.
Any other questions from council? All right. Thank you. All right. With that, I will open the public hearing. And if there's anyone that would like to speak at the public hearing for.
Good evening. Thank you very much for letting me come and address you this evening. My name is Dr. Richard Geertz, and I am here on behalf of Memorial Baptist Church that's located at 995 Peppers Ferry Road. We would like to develop a high-quality, Christ-based, licensed child care center serving children aged 0 through 5 years of age. I was a pediatrician for 50 years, the last 25 of which were here in Pulaski, where I cared for about 23,000 children in our community and the surrounding area. So I became very much aware of the critical need for quality child care. In the county of Pulaski, there are estimated to be about 1,700 children, 6 years and under, who would be eligible for child care. But there are only approximately 300 slots for child care for the entire county. And in the town of Pulaski, there are only 3 licensed child care centers with about 125 slots. And only one of those provides child care for infants and toddlers under 2.5 years of age. And so our church family decided that we needed to meet the needs of the children in our community. We wanted to make contact with young families with children, to encourage the development of Christ-centered families, and to provide a Christian orientation to child care. But we also felt that it was critically important for us to be a licensed child care center and to follow all of the guidelines and requirements that are laid out in the guidelines that the State Board of Social Services requires in their licensing process. We propose to develop this child care center within our existing facility. In particular, we have a activity building that was built in 1998 with approximately 4,000 square feet of classroom space and open activity areas that were intended for children's education, both Sunday school programs and church-related programs. But it was originally planned that it would be used for a school. We do now have a kindergarten through 12th grade private Christian school, Mayflower Christian Academy, that operates in our facility. but we have not had a childcare or preschool program until this time. We would like to develop this child care center as a ministry of our church, and we would provide the facilities, provide the administrative services that are required, and oversight of the program. But our plan is to have a fully professional staff, program directors and teachers that are experienced and certified teachers with college-level training in early child development. We're looking to provide a age-specific, developmentally appropriate environment that allows children in that critical stage of psychosocial development and motor development and language development that all takes place in that first 3 to 5 years. After all the years I practiced pediatrics, I saw so many times children that didn't have access to that kind of environment, whether it was lack of resources or lack of time and availability of parents in the home, or just informal child care, whether it was just staying with relatives or with friends or neighbors, or just informal in-home child care. I think the rigid guidelines that are laid out by the State Department of Social Services really accurately portray what is necessary to ensure that when children reach that school age and enter into kindergarten, that they have that solid foundation of physical, emotional, and spiritual development that prepares them for that next stage of life. So we are have the application ready for a special exception. If you approve the amendment, then we will then have that ready to provide you all the information to give you any details that you need. And I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have.
I don't have any questions, but I will say thank you, as you stated, very much needed in our community. So thank you for all you do for our children.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Alrighty, if there's anyone else, okay. If not, I will close the public hearing. And then, one of you want to make a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I move that we adopt ordinance 2022-20, adding the definition daycare center to zoning ordinance section 4.4.2-2F. As written.
Second. And may I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Penn?
Yes.
Mr. Dawson?
Aye.
Mr. East?
Aye.
Mr. Ratliff?
Aye.
Mr. Klontz?
Aye.
Mr. Reese?
Aye.
There you go. All right, now we'll move on to Resolution 2022-48, appropriating candidates to the Planning Commission and Pulaski Redevelopment Housing Authority.
I think you meant to say appointing. I don't think we're going to be appropriating anybody to
Appointing,
it. So unless there's any other questions, I think this came up at the last meeting, but I think this is the formal resolution. I move to approve Resolution 2022-48 as written.
Second.
And may I have a roll call for that, please?
Mr. Penn?
Yes.
Mr. Dawson?
Aye.
Mr. East?
Aye.
Mr. Ratliff?
Aye.
Mr. Klontz?
Aye.
Mr. Reese?
Aye.
Resolution 2022-49, honoring Councilman Lane R. Penn upon his retirement from the town of Pulaski Town Council. So I will read the resolution. Resolution 2022-49, resolution honoring Councilman Lane R. Penn upon his retirement from the town of Pulaski Town Council. Whereas the Town Council of the town of Pulaski, Virginia, desires to recognize and commend those council members who, upon their retirement, who have rendered a career of service to the citizens of the town of Pulaski, and whereas Councilman Lane Penn has served the town as a councilman for the town council since 2004, and whereas Mr. Penn also served the country as an employee, or the county as an employee with the Pulaski County Public School System from 1997 through 2005, and the Pulaski County Public Service Authority from 2006 through 2015. And whereas Mr. Penn has served on many boards and committees for the town of Pulaski, including Peppers Ferry Regional Wastewater Treatment Authority, Chairman on the Pulaski Redevelopment and Housing Authority, Greater Pulaski Alliance, and Pulaski County Emergency Communications Board. And whereas Mr. Penn received the 2022-2023 Lifetime Achievement Award by the T.G. Howard Community Center Board of Directors. And whereas Mr. Penn will retire on December of 2022, completing 24 years of service as a councilman. And now, therefore, be it resolved by the Town Council of the Town of Pulaski, Virginia, sitting in regular session this day on this 20th day of December 2022, and the Town Council extends its sincerest thanks and commendation to Councilman Lane R. Penn for his dedicated service to the citizens of the Town of Pulaski as a member of the Town of Pulaski Town Council. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Town Council and town employees extend to Mr. Penn their best wishes for an enjoyable and rewarding retirement. This resolution will be effective upon adoption and is hereby adopted on the 20th day of December 22 by duly recorded vote of the Town Council of the Town of Pulaski, Virginia. May I have a motion, please, for that?
Mr. Mayor, I move that we adopt Resolution 2022-49, resolution honoring Councilman Lane R. Penn on his retirement from the Town of Pulaski Town Council.
Second. And may I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Penn,
See,
Mr. Dawson,
Aye.
Mr. East,
Aye.
Mr. Ratliff,
aye.
Mr. Klontz,
Aye.
Mr. Reese.
Yes.
All right. Down front. Okay.
Are we going? Not going yet, are we? Let me just say.
Tighten it up.
Come kind of forward a little bit. There you go.
Think so. Open.
It's a resolution honoring William D. Pettigo on his retirement from the Town of Pulaski. Whereas the Town Council of the Town of Pulaski, Virginia desires to recognize and commend those employees who, upon their retirement, have rendered a career of service to the citizens of the Town of Pulaski. And whereas William D. Pettigo began serving the Town of Pulaski as an engineer tech 2 beginning December 6, 1988, and was promoted to project engineer beginning June 9, 1989. And whereas Mr. Pettigo was promoted again, this time to assistant town engineer beginning August 30th, 1993. And whereas Mr. Pettigo began his role as interim town engineer starting on May 20th, 2002. And whereas Mr. Pettigo served as the interim building official starting on January 17th, 2017, and served as an alternate on the Peppers Ferry Regional Wastewater Treatment Authority from January 1st, 2013, and will continue to serve until December 31st, 2025. And whereas Mr. Pettigo became the Town of Pulaski Town Engineer on November 20th, 2002, and will retire on January 3rd, 2023. And now, therefore, it be resolved by the Town Council of the Town of Pulaski, setting in regular session this 20th day of December 2022, that the town council extends its sincerest thanks and appreciation to William D. Pedigo for his dedicated service to the town of Pulaski. Be it further resolved that the town council and town employees extend to Mr. Pedigo their best wishes for an enjoyable and rewarding retirement. This resolution will be effective upon adoption and is hereby will be here and will be adopted this 20th day of December 2022 by the duly recorded vote of the town council of the town of Pulaski, Virginia. And may I have a motion, please?
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve Resolution 2022-50, resolution honoring William D. Pedigo upon his retirement from the town of Pulaski.
Second.
Mr. Penn?
Yes.
Mr. Dawson?
Aye.
Mr. East?
Aye.
Mr. Ratliff?
Aye.
Mr. Klontz?
Aye.
Mr. Reese?
Aye.
Even though we don't want him to. You did hear that he's got to keep working until 2025, though, on some things, so not getting away that easy, nor will Mr. Penn. He's going to be our historian that will stay on board no matter what he wants. All right, let's see. All right, next is Resolution 2022-51, Conflict of Interest Policy.
Mr. Mayor, I might just explain this particular policy. I have confidence that at some time in the past, the council did in fact adopt a conflict of interest policy, but as we were going through our standard audit, we could not locate a copy of that to satisfy the auditor's concerns, and so we agreed to immediately place it on your agenda. In the 2 years that I've been here, I certainly have seen no evidence that this policy has in any way been violated. I think it is truly an ethical approach to government that all of us strive to adhere to, but I would commend it to you for adoption tonight.
Unless there's any further comments, I make a motion that we adopt Resolution 2022-51, the Conflict of Interest Policy, as written.
Second.
And may I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Penn?
Yes.
Mr. Dawson?
Aye.
Mr. East?
Aye.
Mr. Ratliff?
Aye.
Mr. Klontz?
Aye.
Mr. Reese?
Aye.
Okay, next is Ordinance 2022-21, amending Chapters 38 and Chapter 68 of the Code of Ordinances.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, I think you will recall that at your last meeting, you did adopt revised chapters for 38 and 68 relating to trash and its collection. Upon further review, your staff has determined that there are a couple of other things that need to be added, and we have provided those to you both in a red line form and in the total package. One includes the language that indicates what items are to be eligible to be collected as a bulk item on a monthly basis. You'll recall that the ordinance does provide for up to 3 items per month to be collected, and the items that are listed mirror what is in the GFL contract. So to get you to approve that, and in title or chapter 38 in the environment, there has been additional language saying that items that are placed on the street shall not be there more than the required time for pickup on the collection day, and if they are not removed after 2 days or 48 hours, the owner of the property becomes liable for their removal, and we would take immediate steps if the owner does not for removal and then bill them for that expense. really were understood as a part of the process of creating the ordinance. They just were not spelled out in a way that we want to make very clear to the public. And I will, later in the meeting, give you an update on trash. And I do have in the audience this evening Jared McFarland, who is the individual who we've been working with GFL, and I know he wants to make a few remarks to you. I'll introduce himself, although some of you seem to have known him for some time, because he has worked our area for many years in a different capacity. If you have any questions about these two changes, I'd be happy to answer them.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve ordinance 2022-21, amending Chapter 38 and Chapter 68 to the Code of Ordinance.
And may I have a roll call for that, please?
Mr. Penn?
Yes.
Mr. Dawson?
Aye.
Mr. East?
Aye.
Mr. Ratliff?
Aye.
Mr. Klontz?
Aye.
Mr. Reese?
Aye.
Next is presentation, summary of the ARPA funds to date. Darlene, would you?
Yes, I'm down on the floor tonight. We've had a lot of comments recently about how the town is spending money and what improvements are being made or are planned. And I think it would be important, particularly as we're winding down the calendar year, to share with you all in a 50,000 square foot level, not square, 50,000 foot level, what we have been working on since the ARPA, American Recovery money, was first distributed a little over a year and a half ago. I think we have made very wise investments, excuse me, most significantly in our water system. We have obligated or actually spent $3.8 million on improvements to our water system. That includes excuse me, again, the rehabilitation of all of our water tanks, a new polymer feed system at our filter plant, the replacement of filters that I know the council is very familiar with were dying on us, and we had major problems. We are using that money for the replacement of the water line on West Main, which has been discussed quite a bit. We have new telemetry that is being put in on our pumping stations, and we have purchased a number of water break repair tools that will enhance our ability to repair more quickly. We have ordered 20% of the total number of meters that will need to be replaced over the next 5 to 6 years throughout the town. And we have been replacing other items at the filter plant to ensure the quality of our water. In the area of public safety, we have committed, excuse me, almost $300,000 that has allowed us to have a K-9 unit that I'm sure everybody has met Juno at this point. We have UTVs for both the fire and police department. A police surveillance camera that I know was shown to the council was a part of that investment. We have purchased a number of fire prevention materials, replaced a lot of safety equipment for both fire and police, and have police department tasers and computer replacements in the works. In the area of public works, we have approved and or spent about $450,000. That has provided safety equipment. We paved a number of streets in the town with money that we could not use the VDOT funds for, and those particular streets had not been paved for some 25 years. So we've made some major improvements throughout the town. We did replace some equipment for the Public Works Department to allow us to do a better job at mowing, particularly in our medians, that I know has been a concern. And we're replacing the truck beds because of the erosion that occurs through the salt that's put in every year for snow removal. I know a lot of people are familiar with the outdoor improvements that we've made. We've approved a little over $1.1 million. I think you're seeing the benefit of that in our mountain bike park, our skate park, the gates, the signs, the benches, the trash cans, the seating, the brush clearing. We have new signage on the interstate that advises individuals on 81 1, both north and south, that we have a historic commercial area, and we're hoping that that will in fact bring visitation to our community. Just last week, we had a ribbon cutting for our 4 new playground equipment areas in the town, and we failed to mention at that particular event that we also replaced the playground equipment at Gatewood, so that those that use that facility also have an improved and enhanced play area for children. We've also, as I think you've probably seen, some significant improvement in the signage on many of our businesses in the downtown. And something that someone has questioned that was really a fairly minimum investment but is already paying results was the placement of a recharging station in the downtown. And I understand from people who do own electric vehicles that our location is now being listed in the brochures and material that electric cars distribute, so that people know where to find the next stop. And that will in fact bring visitors into our community, and we're hoping that it takes a while for them to charge their car, and that they will visit various activities in the downtown. So a lot has been accomplished, a lot is still in the works, but what we have tried to do is follow the guidelines of the federal government in the use of these monies, and I think from my vantage point, it is demonstrating great results. Probably the thing that I have seen that is most significant in the time that I have been here is the care that people are giving to these new facilities. When I first came to the community, saw a lot of graffiti and a lot of disruption and vandalism of items, not just local government-owned items, but private items. But the turnaround for these new facilities has been amazing. People really are caring for them and valuing them, and I think we are headed in the right direction with a new attitude with many of our residents. I know that we're going through a lot of change, but I do believe that that change will make us bigger and better in the future. And so I just wanted you all to go into the holiday season reflecting on some of those improvements that we've made, with the good fortune of having received, like every other community in the nation, some additional money from the state to try to get us through the post-COVID time and do work that we have been unable to do because of reduced revenues. Happy to answer any questions that you all might have about anything that I've mentioned.
It's nice to hear it all at one time.
All right, with that, the next thing on here is the town manager's contract. So if someone would like to make a motion, please.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve the town manager's contract as written.
Second.
And may I have a roll call for that, please?
Mr. Penn?
Yes.
Mr. Dawson?
Aye.
Mr. East?
Aye.
Mr. Ratliff?
Aye.
Mr. Klontz?
Aye.
Mr. Reese?
Aye.
We'll move to the public comment period. I don't have any slips for that, so we'll steamroll right on through. Consent agenda. If you would look at your last council meeting minutes from December 6th, and if someone would make a motion to accept them.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve the Tuesday, December 6, 2022 council meeting minutes.
Second.
And may I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Penn?
Yes.
Mr. Dawson?
Aye.
Mr. East?
Aye.
Mr. Ratliff?
Aye.
Mr. Klontz?
Aye.
Mr. Reese?
Aye.
Now we move on to that much anticipated comment section that Mr. Penn has been saving up for. So Mr. Penn, yours is the first one.
Do you have a half hour?
Yeah, we do. We got all the time you need.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
24 years, we'll let you go for however long you want.
All you want. I don't have a lot to say, but I do want to mention a couple of things. First of all, my 24 years on the council of serving more than 24 different council members, you have been the best council group that I ever had to work with. You're really were easy to deal with. We didn't always agree, but we were kind to each other, and that was very important to me. During that time, I have worked with 5 managers. Mrs. Burst has been number 5. 5 attorneys. Mrs. Riggs been the 5th. We have see what are the thing I really want to say that's really important to me is that there's a reporter here, Mike Williams. Mike Williams was here when I was first appointed. During that time, I had a big head of hair. Mike had black hair, and he turned gray. Mine turned loose. So, but we, along with Mike, we used to have a reporter from the Roanoke Times. He was here at every meeting, and sometimes you would hear him snore. But he wrote the best report you've ever seen. How he did it, I never know. In closing, I would say that for being one thing about me being a council member, I'm probably the only council member that can say they have 100% approval rating. There was 50% of the people were glad to see me come. The other 50 be glad to see me go. So, but with that, I do have a gift for each of you. And Mike, I have one for you. Mike had an opportunity to really embarrass us that time. This is your bobblehead main
Thank you, Mr. Penn.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Okay. That's coming, right?
Thank you.
Uh-oh, something's in that one. No.
Just made me nervous.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, sir. It worries me how he looked at us each before he gave us he would look around to make sure who he was giving what to. So. Worried about opening this up, but.
That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Dawson.
I just want to say to Mr. Penn, it's been an honor and a privilege to get to work with you. People like you is what drove me to want to be part of something like this. And so I really appreciate and thank you for all the advice and time you spent, over the time I got to work with you and talk to you. It was always a privilege. So I just thank you for that. Darlene, I did want to ask about the streetscapes and the Y intersection. And I know in previous conversation, it was going to be March or something of that nature before we could get approvals for the streetscapes. I think it was March or May, something. May, okay. And and so I guess I got a chance to talk to Scott Austin, and I guess one thought I really hadn't put my head around is that there's a lot of money going to that project, but it burns up pretty fast, and by the time you get from one end of that street to the other, it's gonna just getting the basics of that project done are gonna pretty much consume what money is available for it. Is that probably a fair statement, I guess?
We have two grants from VDOT, one for each side of the street,
Mhm.
the north side and the south side, but they are being designed, obviously,
Together.
together.
Mhm.
And will actually be executed one side at a time, which means that we'll be able to reopen the street as soon as the water main is completed. But the street will end up being gravelled as opposed to a paved surface until the streetscapes are completed. And I should have for you by your meeting in January, the design that has been put forward that's still under review by first the state and then the federal officials, because it is federal money that is coming to us for the streetscape. And that's a different project altogether from the water line, from the two-way street project.
Right. So I guess that part of the project, I guess, is what I have in mind, is just purely the aesthetic final touch part of what the completed look is going to be. And I know it's probably not going to be much different, the general concept of what our street and sidewalk are going to be the same, but in the interest of, I think it's worthy of making sure that we do everything that we possibly can do with that point. We have so much energy towards property owners trying to take their buildings and, take it to the next level. That we make sure that as we put those sidewalks back together, the streets back together, the crosswalks back together, the Y intersection, we took down that, we had to take down obviously the nice looking, entrance sign into the downtown, and that intersection is going to change. But in those changes, we've got to make sure that we put those special touches back into it. And I think, in my opinion, even if the funding of the grants, fell short of being able to do the special touch, I think we should be considering, how much would it cost and would it be worth it?
Since we have that design to show you and the public, we certainly can entertain additions to it, which, as you said, might not be covered, by the grant, and we need to find a different funding source. I do know that we're probably going to have different lighting, street lighting, than what is there now. You'll have different trees. You may have fewer trees, but you'll also have tree beds that will be more environmentally friendly and deal with some of the stormwater runoff, that has been an issue in that part of the town. But I certainly understand your point, and our problem is everything seems to cost more than whatever someone set aside, as a grant. That was true of the water main. We actually were delayed in awarding that contract because all three bids came in over budget, and we had to, they use the term value engineer. We had to eliminate some things from that project or agree for the town to do certain things to bring that into the budget. But it's going to be a once in
And sometimes the most basic details, a small detail can add that, a touch to it to beyond just if we don't take those steps, I guess.
And the hanging signs that you see for all of the businesses that wanted them, were a part of that project too, that we funded through the ARPA money so that there would be greater visibility of those businesses. Most of them had signage on their windows, which really was not very visible. Someone driving, maybe somebody walking, would observe that. And we've gotten a lot of positive reaction from both the owners as well as visitors to that signage.
That sounds good. I just wanted to make sure that we get to have that moment. I'm not saying I have the answer for, what that is. But if, with some open discussion, then maybe some good ideas will come to the table for things that we could do. That's all I have.
Mr. East?
You got my name right that time. I would just like to say it's been a pleasure serving with Mr. Penn. I certainly have enjoyed his wisdom.
Thank you.
And as Pat Huber mentioned across the street, his smoked chicken, if you ever get a chance, they're on the money. So, but thank you, 2023 won't be the same without you. So.
Thank you, appreciate it. I'm going to miss you.
Mr. X?
Yeah. I got a cold. I can't talk very well. But I just want to tell Mr. Penn that it's been a great pleasure. Mr. Penn has always given me the greatest information. When I didn't understand something, he was always Johnny on the spot. But I think we're the only two council people that a sitting mayor actually made a statement, I'm going to bust you two up after the next election. He put Lane on one end, me on the other end. It didn't do that good. We just got together on each other's porch and done it anyway. So, but it's been I've served with Mr. Penn on several boards, several huge jobs. He's always given me the greatest of information. If I didn't understand something, I could always call him. He's my neighbor, so I'll be checking with him. It's been fun, Mr. Penn. But you come on back. And if you ever get ready to run again, you let me know, and I'll be your biggest supporter. You know that.
Appreciate it.
So, appreciate it. Ms. Burcham, the money that you have spent, that we got, I think you've done one hell of a job. It really goes back to you. You've spread that money out. We've gotten things taken care of, our playgrounds, bike trails, Main Street. I know we're all catching a little slack. It's all said and done. It's going to be worth it. I'll be great. I'm not worried about it. We take care of business in. So you've done a wonderful job. To each one of these council people and all of the staff, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, because I won't see you no more till next year. And Jeremy, get ready. You get ready to get broke in good. Thank y'all.
Mr. Klontz?
Yeah, I don't have too much to say, but it has been a pleasure, Mr. Penn, and I hope that you truly get a chance to enjoy retirement and do some stuff you love to do.
Thank you.
Mr. East?
Thanks. I just to reiterate, well, I'll try not to reiterate what everybody else said, Mr. Penn, but it's been an honor serving with you. And what I think maybe other people don't realize is that a lot of what we do here is try to figure things out. And what Mr. Penn makes it real easy to do is somebody will say, well, why in the heck did they do it that way? Mr. Penn will say, and usually a finger goes up, and he goes back in, and he will chapter and verse exactly who said it, who thought it, who did it, why they did it, why they didn't do it, everything. And you realize, we all make mistakes, just hope you don't have a Mr. Penn in your life to remember all of them. But it's been we talk about institutional knowledge and how important that is. And it's been amazing to be able to just say, well, that happened literally 20 years ago. And he can tell you who did it, who said it, and maybe not be able to put the hands on the documents, but you don't kind of need them. And so just been, a great experience. And I really appreciate like you said, how, I think you model how kind everybody is. you don't agree with all of us, and that's good. And you know, you shouldn't agree with everybody all the time, but always done it with grace and you know, kindness is, I guess, the best way to put it. So thank you. So I just want to say, I know this isn't a popular opinion, Darlene, but my daughter has asked that Main Street remain closed forever because she likes to play in it. So there is one person who likes the street being closed. But that being said, the sidewalks on Memorial Drive look great. I was out one day this weekend and it was bitter cold and there were people out walking. And I think that's wonderful. I think you know, I would love to see more of that in town. I think people really appreciate being able to walk places, whether it's out of necessity or just for their own, you know, well-being. And it was like 6 or 7 people out walking, you know, on a bitter cold day. And so it was just nice. And I think that just goes to show, hopefully that goes to show our citizens that, you know, we, and all the stuff that we've been able to do with that ARPA money is that there are ways that we can spend money that, you know, really benefit more people than you would think. You know, the playgrounds, the bike park. I've probably said this before. You know, met people there from as far away as Richmond. You know, who came out. Maybe we never heard of this before. And I think that's just it's been great. I did have a question about the street closures. Oh no, I'm sorry, not the street closures. The flashing lights. I have noticed that some of them are flashing yellow. I know, and I just thought I'd mention that. And I think just good sense means that we should all stop at all of those, even if you got a flashing yellow. And you know, that would be, I think, a good habit for us all to get into for the time being. And I'm also curious. I mean, I had a thought about. When we're thinking about redoing that Y intersection all places, I've been thinking a lot about how it would be really good if we had turning lanes. I know we have 4-lane roads. There's a part of my brain that thinks it might just be easier. People sort of are weaving and all over the place. Turning lanes, just something for Mr. Ross to consider when he's in the process. It would be, but also just say thank you for all the hard work you and I know the town staff has done. To do all this work in a very short period of time. I mean, we basically spent half of a year's budget just on capital projects, and I think it's been worth every penny. And just very excited to hear that we're, you know, upgrading so much water system in particular. So thank you.
All right. The joys of being last, you get to say, yeah, I think the same stuff that everybody else did about you, Mr. Penn. You have made my first term as mayor much easier. Your wealth of knowledge, your wisdom, your wit, and I just appreciate it. And I think that this town is a better place because of people like you. We're not always popular, that's for sure, but we do what we think is correct and right and how our heart leads us, and that's why we do it.
Thank you very much. I want everybody to know my phone number will not change. Feel free to call me for any reason.
Yeah, but you got me blocked already, but no. But I do.
It wasn't blocked.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wouldn't say it was going to pick up. He just said you could call him.
But I do appreciate.
Give it out either.
Oh, it'll be flashing on the screen. No. But I really appreciate all that you've done. And I heard of Mr. Penn for many years before I became mayor. And then when I became mayor, I was kind of scared of that tall man. But deep down inside, he may be a tall man, but he's a teddy bear. So, and I thank you for everything you've done. Let's see, the flashing light, I've had multiple people come and ask about that and complain about that. They don't like the idea of Washington and Main not having a street light. Have worries of it too, because I've seen over the years, if there's a wreck on the interstate, of it backing up to at least my store. I'm afraid it's going back up to Dublin now, but to a stop sign. But we live through and we try and we figure out if it doesn't work, then we step back and we punt. So I appreciate everything that you've done this year. Appreciate everything that you all have done this year. You all have made my first term a lot easier. Do I want to stay for 24? I don't know. I mean, I would like to, but at least right now I want to, but I think I'd go for 25. You should have took that one more year. But other than that, I want to wish everyone here in our town that we love and the one that we do this for, I want to wish you a very Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year. So I hope that we see you in 2023 and we'll be here. Some of us. But I bet he'll be here anyway, and some of us will be up here that's not.
I'll visit.
But I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Darlene, it's your turn.
All right, well, I think most of you heard my sentiments at the reception we had for Mr. Penn, because I tried mightily to get him to stay as long as I stayed, and tried to get him to even be a write-in candidate, because I know from just the 2 years that I've been here how much of a loss his retirement will be for all of us. I'm planning on designating a seat in the chambers for him to regularly be present and to sign up as a speaker on an item or send us a note so that we can benefit from his wisdom. I do appreciate the couple of comments about what has been accomplished and the indication that it was me. It was not me. It was the entire staff. And I have worked in many Virginia local governments. In fact, that's where I've spent my entire career. But I have not found a more dedicated, more family-oriented staff than you have here. If Bill Pedigo were still in the audience, he would tell you he's worked harder these last 2 years than he's worked in the other 32. And that's because I believe that we have a window of opportunity to make this community the best community that can be. And if that means we have to run a little bit harder, work a little bit harder, stay a little bit longer to make it happen, then that's what we need to do. But I continue to see more smiles and acceptance on the part of our employees than frowns or reasons to not do things. And so as you go through your day-to-day, when you see a town employee, please thank them. They pull together like a team all the time. And these last couple of weeks have been especially interesting, I think, for all of us as we try to pull off yet another big change for our town, which is the change in the trash collection. And I do want to provide an update to you all on some additional information that we have at this point, and perhaps some changes in dates and locations, but we are on for that transition on July the 2nd. And I do have
January.
A lot of people just got real nervous.
As I said, Jared is here in the audience and wants to make a few comments. But if I could just go very quickly through some of the update for you all and for the public that will be viewing either live or as a rerun our meetings. We are still in line for delivery of the containers the week of the 26th. That'll actually start on the 27th. And they are bringing in crews that Jared can tell you about that will actually take those out to the individual communities. We did post downstairs as well as on Facebook maps that show which areas will be picked up on which day of the week. But that information will also be provided with some materials along with the containers when they are delivered. And we'll be doing some more marketing of that. I mentioned that the change in the ordinance, or one of the changes related to specifying which bulk items could be collected on that one day of the month, and that will be announced at a later point in time. Probably the most interesting aspect of all of this has been the responsiveness of our community when we have said, if you can't, if you don't believe that you can move your toter yourself because of your own physical ability, you can ask your doctor to give us a note. People very promptly responded, not in inordinate numbers. So I think people took that offer very seriously, and that information has been provided to GFL, and they will be performing that service. Letters will be going out tomorrow to those people who currently have alley service that will no longer be receiving alley service, but will be going to the street in front of their property.
I think it's already gone out. Well, I got one, so I assume that it already went out. Well, obviously.
Well, we had one street that we still didn't have all the information on. I thought we were waiting to get that, but I'll double check. As you all can see, I'm kind of not in the office all the time, but I promise you I'm working full time. In fact, I'm working probably more because I have no interruptions. That's not always boding well for my employees, who then get constant emails from me or phone calls saying, have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? We had talked to the council some months ago about hoping that we could move the convenience center to a more convenient location, and we are now able to accomplish that. So we will be announcing tomorrow, and for those who are watching tonight, that the convenience center that will open and operate in the town as of January, I said this time, January 2nd, will be at the former brush site, which is at the end of Sheriff F.D. Connor Drive, and we will initially have the same hours and days of the previous site had, and there will be listed both in advance as well as posted there what items can be collected and in what amounts. We will have a number of open containers in that facility that will be labeled so that people can bring in their items. I have to unfortunately stress that this is a town site, not a county site, so it will only be available to town residents. The easy way to do that at this point is just look to see if they have a town decal on their vehicle, that they bring some other form of identification. They borrowed somebody's truck in order to bring it in. We will certainly accommodate that. We have the attendant hired that will be managing that site for us, and everything will be delivered. Actually, the open containers will be delivered this Friday to get us ready, and then the following week is when all of the I keep calling them toters, containers, the 95-gallon containers, will be delivered to folks. I think that covers all of the items that I wanted to bring up, and I would ask Jared if you want to come forward and just very briefly share with them some material that I know you brought. I did not know when we started working with Jared that he was so familiar with our community, but this has been a real plus for us as we move into this service.
He's famous. Is it famous or infamous? Or?
Darlene, you also said that we will be still collecting brush there. And this means not just once a month like we had before, right? It can be anytime
We'll start out with any time, but
to see how much we get.
What we found was that we really didn't have that much volume coming in, and yet we were having to staff it.
Yeah.
So we'll kind of monitor that. We'll also monitor the hours because candidly, at the Door Highway site, at least several visits demonstrated to us that a lion's share of the people that were using it were county residents, and we want to be available and to collect for town residents, but if the volumes are lower and the frequency is lower, we need to also not have
Someone there.
people standing there working all day when nobody shows up on a Tuesday or whatever the day might be. And I have talked with Public Works about about doing a special run in probably mid-January to pick up Christmas trees, so that not everybody feels like they have to make a trip there in order to dispose of the tree. That's not something we normally do, but we thought we would do that this year, given all the other changes.
I do think we'll have to be cautious of, even if there are slow times and slow days, that if this is going to be the location, that's going to be available for people outside of the 95-gallon container to handle any excess, whatever they've got going on, that the availability of that probably needs to side on the caution of the resident, just needs over what it looks.
And not doing any immediate changes, kind of seeing what those trends are.
Thank you, Darlene. Mr. Mayor, Council, greetings from GFL. I was a part of the Pulaski community for 22 years, and it was a great journey at Centos/RUS, and little did I know that when my brother and I were having a conversation about Darlene, that both of us knew her, and he said, I've got to go meet with Darlene about an opportunity in Pulaski, and we were talking. I told him, I said, that'd be a great, huge opportunity. So he rushed down and met with Darlene, and so he went in and had some procedures done. Well, unfortunately, I lost my brother in August, and it was very emotional, but what a path he laid for Pulaski. And when the opportunity came to me, the leadership, the GVPs and VPs came to me and said, hey, we can't think of anybody better that has a passion like your brother. Would you entertain it? And as Brooks knows and Collins knows, that was tough, because 22 years serving this area and the customer base, and just what I loved about the company I worked for. And I looked at GFL's profile, and I knew what they stood for, because my brother lived it, breathed it for over 20 years. And I was like, you know what, this makes sense. So just moved up the road, but I still get to serve the Pulaski community. With that being said, there was a lot of things that I came in blindsided, because I'm 60 days into this position. I'm actually the general manager, and customer service is my passion. People are my passion. Most importantly is safety. We pride ourselves on safety, and then we look at all the other things that go into make this service work. We make it work in Blacksburg. We make it work for the recycling in Christiansburg, and there are other municipalities, Chilhowie, Saltville, that we're doing this on. Of course, GFL, that is, who we are, and that's what we stand for. We always want to give back to the community. So when Pat, who is the government rep, handed this over to me, I started looking through the agreement, and I was like, wow. Darlene did a great job. And started looking at everything, and I was like, I think we can make this work. So met with her the first time, brought my staff down when I came on board, and Pat was here, and we penciled out some stuff, and Darlene gave me timelines of when I had to get back with her. So I met those timelines. The only timeline was I couldn't be here the last council meeting because I am the town Santa helper, and I had to do a Christmas party for the town of Bluefield, Virginia. So sorry about that. But if you'll go through your packet, we basically wanted you all to see what color code it is. I know the streets aren't there. Streets aren't on there because you wouldn't be able to read them because the font would be too small anyway. But downstairs, Darlene, you all have all the quadrants listed with the streets. That way when the residents call in, all they got to do is go to the street number, street name, say, hey, here's your service day, which is color coded there. Pretty simple. So, and we've made, tried to make it as user friendly possible as we could. If you go to the second page, you'll see on the first part of it, talking about the oops, what happens is basically we'll communicate with Town Hall and the leadership to let them know, hey, here's what we found when we went to go pick the cans up. And then we'll work with them, and we'll work with the resident. On the back page, basically that is, when they put this packet together, the welcome should have been on the front side. So basically this tells everything that what we're going to do, the timeline of everything. As Darlene had mentioned earlier, town of Pulaski is going to get 3,900 Christmas presents a couple of days late. So the totes will be here. Our teams will be here on the ground starting at 7:30 on the 27th. And what we'll do is your day one, which will be Monday. You liked that day one, didn't you, Brooks? Your Monday routes, you'll go to the Orange. Those will be distributed on the 27th. And then your Tuesday routes will be distributed on that Wednesday and so forth, to where if something happens weather-wise, we've got an extra day. And if we have to carry over into the next week because of weather, then Monday's customers will all be ready to go on that start date and be able to catch up. So that pretty much is a welcome aboard letter. My staff are the leaders of our location. All I do is show up and ask them where we're going to have lunch and what's next on the agenda, because they really do a phenomenal job. Jake's been with Chris out on the routes, and we've been working with engineering, been working with everyone. Has been phenomenal here with the staff. And me personally, working with municipalities for over 20 years, I must say, Town of Pulaski has really poured their heart into it, because they want to change. They want to change, and obviously the residents want the change because they elected you all for that position. So we want to partner with you all. How long is your contract for the renewal?
1 year.
We need to extend that because she keeps the ball moving. You know, we have a long-term partnership with you all, and we want to make sure we're doing all the right things for the Town of Pulaski and the residents. So if you go to the very last page, you'll notice where Darlene had swore us to secrecy on where the location was going to be, but she let you all know tonight, so we'll be more than happy to share that. You'll notice where these are going to be fold-over signs that are going to be in front of the containers. We'll have it marked for your bulk items. So one container will have your bulk items, and one container will be your tires. Then we're going to also offer recycling, as that's very important to us, because it's in our name, Green for Life. So then white goods, the town has opted to have a supplier take care of that and dispose of those goods themselves, but we are going to go ahead and provide signage for them as well. Any questions on any of that?
I have a question on the containers. So that site is level, it's flat, right? So the containers, you know, a lot of locations you see the containers are set down below ground level, you know, for purposes of getting things into those containers. So what will we need, like, for example, the white containers with an appliance? How is someone going to get an appliance into those containers?
You want me to answer that? Okay. So the goal is curbside service. So that your residents are going to have the opportunity to call the town hall. They'll remove the Freon from the refrigerators or any other appliances that they might have. So we will actually be able to pick those up by curbside as long as they have that Freon removed. And we'll actually take those to the courtesy stop and put those in the bulk what we call white goods for recycling. Now, if for some reason that somebody doesn't want to wait until the pickup, that's something that they will just take to the recycling center as far as the courtesy drop off, and then the attendant will take care of it from that point.
A question, the trash cans be picked up by arm?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. If the trash can is not where the arm can get it, I'm assuming you guys will leave a note.
Yes.
Saying you need to find another location.
And
Well, that's probably gonna be me.
yeah, so and what we're doing, what we're making everybody aware of is when these teams come in, wherever they place that can is where we want that can placed, because we're always we're moving through the whole time. We're never stopping the
So your
operators.
guys are gonna put it where you want it.
Yes, that's
Gotcha.
correct.
That's
Yes.
good.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right.
Because that was the one thing I was a question, because I currently have alley collection, so it's not, I don't have another place for it, and I'm happy to, you know, do that if I need to. But I did have one question. On one of these it says 5 feet, the other says 3 feet.
3 feet.
So is it 5 feet total and 3 feet on each side?
It's 3
or-
feet on each side, and as long as we can get 5 feet extended out. So if my arm will go 5 feet out and 3 feet each way. So as long as I have that clearance, and
Okay.
I can go 5 foot back. A lot of people have been calling our office wanting to know, hey, if I leave this up in my driveway, are y'all going to come get it? And we explain to them, hey, that is not what this curbside service is. Where we put the can is where, we need it at on the times that's in the code. So, in the alleys, that has been something that's been a challenge for us. We've been down here, and we understand that there's no way around that, because there are some areas that we don't have curbside. So we're going to have the mini rear load, and that is more labor intensive on us, but that's just part of doing business, and we want to make sure we're accommodating that. And definitely, like to reiterate what Darlene said, as far as the medical certificates and from the doctors, probably the best responses that we've seen in a municipality, because we have one area that is a little over 300 customers, and 260 of them are what we call backdoor service. So we have two laborers go and pull them out. So thank you all, and thank the citizens. And this is an agreement. Even though it's a contract, it's an agreement. We're going to work with the town and the leadership on making sure this is successful, because y'all have poured your heart into this, and we want to be the supplier. And I even went out to the businesses that were having some concerns on alley pickup and not having dumpster service currently, individually met with them and came to some good resolutions. So a lot of your businesses, which, pay a lot more taxes, we want to make sure that we're accommodating them as well. Anything else?
Welcome aboard.
Absolutely. Thank you all so much.
I would just reiterate something I think Mr. Reese said, although I may need to attribute it to somebody else. There will be hiccups.
Yeah, I said that.
There will be things that don't go exactly the way they should the first couple of days. But I will tell you that your staff and the GFL staff, in my opinion, are committed to working through those as quickly as possible and as smoothly as possible. And we're gearing up for all of that. This is a busy time of the year for everybody, vacations and everything else, but we have people who are committed to making sure that this runs as smoothly as possible as a new activity. And I think after a couple of weeks, people will see the value of it. So just hang on for the ride.
We're excited for you all. Just the transformation of what you all had problems with, to be able to help you all manage that and get the town the way you all wanted to look under this code. So thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are you done with your part then too? Did you have anything else?
No.
Okay.
Nice place to end.
All righty. Well, with that, we'll just do the reminder of our future council meetings. January 3rd, 2022, we're canceling that town council meeting. So our next one will be January 17th, 2022. 2023, yeah, it's right on here. 2023. Closed session at 6 p.m. Open session starts at 7 p.m. And as there's nothing else on the agenda, I'll say we are adjourned.
Merry Christmas.
Where are you going? You in a hurry?